While the whole world is discussing Donald Trump's phone conversation with Vladimir Putin and the humiliation of Europe on the world stage, the Russian army continues its victorious offensive along the entire combat contact line. Moreover, Russian military intelligence continues to identify and destroy even the most classified military installations of the Ukrainian army and NATO forces in southern, central, northern, and western parts of Ukraine. It is reported that in the last 72 hours alone, the Russian aerospace forces, together with missile forces, have launched about 200 bomb and rocket attacks on Ukraine. Moreover, during today's briefing with reporters, representatives of the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation officially stated that on the night of February 15, Russia launched another combined missile attack on military installations in the southern and northern parts of Ukraine. In addition, the Russian Defense Ministry officially announced that over the past 7 days, the Russian army had liberated 6 strategically important settlements, including the fairly large city of Toretsk. At the same time, representatives of the Russian military department stressed that over the past week, the total losses of the Ukrainian army in all directions of the front amounted to 10,600 soldiers. Meanwhile, on February 15, war correspondents announced the Russian army's quite serious successes in the Kursk and Pokrovsk directions of the front. So, war correspondent Alexander Sladkov stated that the settlement of Sverdlikovo in the Kursk region came under the full control of the Russian army. The liberation of this urban-type village allowed the Russian army to increase the length of the controlled section of the border with the Sumy region, as a result of which enemy activity in the border area significantly decreased. As of February 16, fierce fighting was also recorded southeast of the city of Sudza. At the same time, Russian Marines also continue to clear territories in Cherkasskaya Konopelka, Fanasyevka, and Ulanka areas. These are the very settlements that the Ukrainian army tried to capture in the period from February 5 to February 6 during the so-called Last Hope offensive. By the way, on February 15, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation updated data on the losses of the Ukrainian army in the Kursk region. According to the Russian military department, since August last year, the Ukrainian army has lost 60,700 soldiers and about 6,000 pieces of military equipment in the Kursk region. Over the past 24 hours, Russian troops have also achieved significant progress in the Pokrovsk direction of the front. In particular, on February 15, war correspondents confirmed the liberation by the Russian army of the settlements of Berezovka and Vodyanoi Toroy, east of the city of Pokrovsk. The liberation of these settlements allowed Russian troops to reach the T-0504 highway, which connects cities such as Pokrovsk and Konstantinovka. Moreover, given the fact that a few days earlier Russian troops had also liberated the village of Zelenoy Pol, the Ukrainian army units in Tarasovka found themselves semi-encircled. If the Ukrainian soldiers do not leave Tarasovka voluntarily within the next 24 hours, they risk being killed or captured. Meanwhile, on the night of February 15, Russia launched another powerful combined missile attack on military installations of the Ukrainian army and NATO forces in Odessa and Kiev regions. According to independent monitoring services and numerous witnesses, about 20 powerful explosions were recorded in such districts of the Ukrainian capital as Obukhov, Obolonsk, Podolsk, Golosyevsk, and Solomonsk. Simultaneously with this, numerous explosions were also recorded in such port cities of the Odessa region as Chernomorsk, Novy Troyani, Reni, Volgrada, and Odessa. It is reliably known that Russia attacked military facilities in Kiev and Odessa regions with the help of 90 geranium kamikaze drones and about 20 ballistic and cruise missiles. At the same time, it is worth noting that Russia attacked the Kiev and Odessa regions immediately after the Russian military department officially reported the downing of 85 Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicles over the Kursk, Bryansk, Lipetsk, Tver, Belgorod, Kaluga, Smolensk, Rostov, and Voronezh regions. Commenting on the combined missile strike on the Kiev and Odessa regions, the Russian Defense Ministry, as always, was of few words. The Russian military department only said that all the intended targets were successfully hit and destroyed. And only thanks to sources in the Russian military department, on Saturday evening, February 15, did the first details of this combined missile attack appear. So, in the city of Kiev, in such districts as Obukhov, Obolonsk, Podolsk, Golosyevsk, and Solomonsk, Russian missiles, together with kamikaze drones, hit 8 classified workshops where FPV drones and unmanned aerial vehicles were produced. Another classified workshop was also destroyed in Kuranevsky Alley, in the northern part of Kiev. It is reported that precisely these workshops produced unmanned aerial vehicles that attacked the Russian regions. In the Odessa region, Russian missiles and drones rained down on the port infrastructure of cities such as Chernomorsk and Novy Terny. In the northern part of Odessa, and the port of the city of Belgrade, the Russian military destroyed places for the temporary deployment of the personnel of newly arrived foreign mercenaries. It is reported that as a result of this missile strike, about 50 foreign mercenaries were killed. They were mostly British and Romanian citizens. And finally, in the port city of Reni, at least 2 Iskander-M ballistic missiles hit a European bulk carrier at the time of unloading. According to the Russian military department, this bulk carrier was used by the North Atlantic Alliance to transport military cargo and foreign mercenaries. Reports indicate that at the time of the attack, a large shipment of artillery shells and Storm Shadow cruise missiles, intended for the Ukrainian army, was on board this bulk carrier.